Good day everybody, welcome to Kampala Road and Happy New Year. Thought I'd do a quick video as I am on a pit stop in the country really. Show you what I've done basically really over Christmas and New Year. Not too much, but been playing trains. What I wanted to do I can't do because Santa hasn't arrived yet, and I'm busy tracking him with my tracking number to find out where it is, but more of that a bit later on. But as you can see, I have cleared out the steam area, pretty empty compared to what it usually is, and that's basically because I've been away and I want to protect the locomotives from the dust problems here. We're in the dry season, so they're all packed away in the boxes, and I'm not going to get them out again until I get back from my next trip away from here. So there's only a couple of railroad locomotives hanging around. Not that I don't care about them, just that they're easier to clean with the dust because they've got less details on them. So you can see the dust on the A4 there, and the reason I'm showing you this area is because whilst I'm really focused on getting the mainline station up and running, or better than it is, I also want to do this area here because it's really enjoyable shunting around these locomotives. So I'm now thinking seriously of getting going on this area. Probably going to use polyfiller or our equivalent of polyfiller here on that area, and then where the points start, which is just here, I will use ballast, the Brighton Beach type ballast I've used on my branch line. So that's probably going to be one of the next stages when I get back from my next trip. You may have seen this in a previous video of mine. I quickly did it between Christmas and New Year just to see how it panned out. I used polyfiller, or again our equivalent, and then this area in the middle, because I didn't want to risk using polyfiller, is bits of Pico platform, which I've cut to size and probably needs a little bit of weathering. Did notice on this one that diesels especially do wobble a bit as they come across, so I'll probably have to trim somewhere along here, I'd say, but I'm quite pleased with the way it's turned out. Looks quite good. The gates are a Pico kit. If I zoom in on here, you'll see probably needs weathering because the white is very, very white, and that hut there is described as a signal box, I think from Scaledale, and I've just put a little seat out there, a little bit of fencing, etc, etc, and that I've got to put a man there, and he's the level crossing superintendent, or whatever they call them. But that's come out quite well. I've got to do something about the girder bridge behind. It looks a bit too Hornby-esque, but it's getting there, and it's come out slightly better than I expected actually. I've got to touch up the retaining wall at the back there, put some legs or something on it, and then over there the tunnel entrance that goes underneath the branch line. I've put static grass on the side, which I'm really enjoying doing because it does look good, and I know I'm way behind everybody else, but yeah, I enjoy it. Slightly closer view of what I've done. I've seen some people put a backdrop behind the bridge to make it look like there's a portal, so I'm definitely going to do that. Thank you very much, you guys. I've seen a couple of people do it. But that's basically how it comes out of the cutting. I'm going to have to give the cutting a name. I'm thinking about that at the moment. But yeah, generally fairly pleased how that has turned out. Something I got off eBay, just behind the Spartacus bridge there, are these retaining walls, and I got, I think it's 6 pieces for £9 off eBay, which gives you just over a metre length. They're not bad. They're made of polyfiller. Somebody obviously has a mould and makes them, and for £9 I think that's a bargain. And you, at the moment they're grey, but obviously you can weather them to how you like, and it's going to serve me well, I think. That is the Scaledale equivalent in brick, or tunnel portal. So yeah, they're pretty prominent on eBay. I think a fairly good bargain if you don't like making cardboard kits, which is me, I'm afraid, as I well documented. There are some marks on them. I spilt a cup of coffee on them, so it's not weathering or anything like that, it's coffee. Bit of a goose. Right, I've had some issues. After confidently predicting in a previous video that my baseboards had settled down, this particular board in front of you has warped again, and it's the one that goes across with the branch line on top, like so, which has caused me untold problems, as you can imagine. And I have to admit, I have thought about tearing up the entire layout and starting again with thicker boards and more support and better structure altogether. I'm also finding I've got a point under there which was giving me some problems. Just to the right of the Class 55 you can just see poking out, and the point motor. I changed that point over to a new express point, and the point motor now is not powerful enough to throw the point. I guess the spring is new, but so is the pointer motor, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there. It's operated off a Hornby accessory decoder. I'm just going to install a lens decoder and attach it to that one to see if there's any luck with the lens decoder. If that's got more power or stronger pulse to fire the point, but at the moment there's a problem. So looking at Kampala Road terminus station, the cockerel is back. They didn't eat him for Christmas, or maybe it's a new one. I have bought a Metcalf cardboard platform kit, and I now have a curved platform within the station, and that cockerel's going to put me off. It was fairly easy to do, quite steep my curves because of the second radius inner curve there on the downline. So looking at the entrance or exit to the station, it's quite a steep gradient there. I'll try and get a picture of that another time. I'm going to have to give that cockerel a name. But as you pan round, you can see the through line by the Mark IIIs there, and then the station stopping line on the upside, and the platform is in place, although I haven't finished ballasting or doing any detail, and I've built another one of those super quick cardboard waiting rooms to go on there. So it does the job, it's functional, and as I said, I can't use Mark III coaches on the outside of it, but it does fit perfectly for Mark IIAs and Mark I's. Mark IIDs, my FX ones, can't be used either. So a bit of an issue there. My hatred of cardboard kits has made me start rethinking about the terminus end over there. And I'm doing everything I can to get out of making a cardboard terminus building. And I think I have a cunning plan, as Baldrick would say, to get out of it. So watch this space, but I've decided my super quick terminus station will stay on the top shelf. So one thing since my extension is the functionality of this area and the sidings. And on the upline it works quite well. This is the upline, downline. This is the first, basically, storage siding, second HST. And these, all three, join the upline the other side of the bridge, or tunnel I should say. And it means I can run through trains on three lines there really, or choose if there needs to be a diversion, anything like that. As I demonstrated in the previous video, I can store trains, run trains and move them around without having to shunt, and it's very, very good and very, very useful. What I did on the downline was not quite so good, and if I pan round again on this rather cheap tripod I've acquired while I wait for centre, my express point, as it comes out there and joins the sidings here on the downline, and they go nowhere, they're just sidings and they are not functional and they don't work. What I need to do is get both sidings here to rejoin the downline, so I can use them in a similar way to how I use this. It is quite frustrating, a train pulling in here, you have the loco here, 4 coaches or 3 coaches, and you've got to do a lot of shunting to get it out and rescue the loco. So I shall move back to the other side. What I intend to do is move that express point to where the class 26 is and start the sidings coming off here. I will gain about 2.5 feet. I don't know why I didn't do it in the first place. It will mean then that the 2 sidings, through sidings will come through here. And this will now just be the down line. This point will be on the other side. The 2 lines will come through here. I will gain, as I said, about 2.5 feet. I will then put a point here and another point here to join these 2 sidings to the main down line. Then I can store trains, run them out, run them in, whatever, when I like. It means I lose a foot about here because of the point work. But overall I gain a length about 1.5 feet on the siding, which will be very useful because it will mean a 4 coach plus loco will be able to be stored on the inside siding, and a 5 coach plus loco, as long as it's not a class 55, will be able to be stored on here. You can see the dust. I haven't dusted that one yet. So that's coming up, and I'm going to try and do that this week before I go away, and then motorise all the points. I'm going to motorise most of the points on this side with a lens accessory decoder. I've had one before, it didn't work, now I've got another one which is there. This takes power off your accessory power bus, takes a signal from your DCC power bus and can control 6 accessories, in my case points. 4 of which are going to be surface mounted points, Pico, and 2 which are going to be under the baseboard points. Again, the Pico standard click-clack ones. I did get a signal box for that area there, but it's too big. I didn't realise how big it was from the picture, so I'm now back to square one of trying to find one to fit in. Common sense should have prevailed and I should have put a signal box in then built round it. But in my defence, if you can't go down the model shop and pick one up and bring it back and you have to wait a month for it, then there you go. Me being a goose again. Very quiet, I've got very few trains on the line and very little running. I've got the afternoon sun coming in on the grass, and the HST rather dustily is looking to leave at some stage shortly. That man is perpetually trying to cross the track, has been for months. One of my ambitions for 2018 is to improve the standard of my videos. I'm not going to change the camera, but if I can stop the camera wobble, that'll be a major step forward. And that's a slight unfinished platform curving round. And the most important piece of equipment I ever have is the track rubber. I've got 3 of them stationed around the layout, clean the track every day. Not sure if anybody can give me some advice, but what do you stick your vacuum pipes on with? Because when I clean the track every day, I find these lying around, retrieve them and then have to look for the loco that has lost them. I just wonder what glue. I'm using Revel and it doesn't seem to be working. He also fell out of a loco and caused a derailment, so he's probably dead. Anyway, any suggestions, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, that's about it. I do apologise for not doing my 100th subscriber special. As I mentioned, Santa hasn't visited me. I have a tracking number and we are checking where he's gone to. But it's up to 160 odd I think now since I mentioned that last time, so I'm very, very appreciative. I really appreciate the support actually, and I will get round to it when I get this bit of kit that does arrive. In the meantime, again, thanks very much for everybody who watches these and has pressed the little red button and subscribed. I really appreciate it, and if you haven't, please do. And I'll leave you with a few running shots of the Class 26 and a couple of other locos going around the layout. I'm away for a few weeks, so there'll be no update for 2 or 3 weeks at the very least. But for now, everybody take care and cheers for now from Kampala.